Yeah, good. So let's start with the next another important concept, that is scheduling repeated jobs with the cron. What is the scheduling? And repeated jobs. And how do we manage that with the scheduling? That's all with the schedule option, the repeated the jobs. Yeah. So if you go for this understanding this concept, suppose everyone, do you see the screen? The paint and all this.
Yep, we can able to see.
Okay, cool. Suppose within that, within that virtual machine or virtual server, suppose we have the server logs in something, any one of the directory. If you just take it, it's in the var log httpd service logs we have. httpd service logs we have. So these logs, every day we need to take the backups, or every weekend we need to take the backups. Yeah, so backup of the log files, that is one activity. Or you need to start or stop the services. But how do you do that? That will come back. But you have the HTTPD, some services, or Nginx services, or the Tomcat services, or the database services which are up and running. And manager is asking this person, so database is getting the hang because of that the weekday activities. So weekends we need to make sure that it has been restarted. Weekends, not on the weekdays. So we have some development servers or testing servers. So on the weekends you need to restart it. Or not only that, you need to do that application deployments to the servers, which you have some schedule based activity. Schedule is like every day, midnight, 12 o'clock. Yes, the developers, whatever the application they have implemented for that day, you need to take it and you need to deploy that to the servers. Yeah, taking the backups, or managing the services, or managing that application deployments. These activities are not just a one-day activity. So they're all like repetitive activities. And these repetitive activities we have on the base of some schedule based. The repetitive, that's fine. But some schedule based. Schedule based, if we just talk it like on the weekends, every day Sunday morning at the 3 a.m. you need to restart the services. Or deployments wise, if you just talk it, every Saturday you need to get the ready of the application for the testing team, or the developers, what are the activities they are doing, the developers point of view, testing teams point of view. We need to make sure that the deployments are ready. Or you need to take this, yes, like some automation scripts you need to run it. If you'd like to perform these repetitive activities on the basis of some schedules, how do you do that? Are you going to do manually working on it that day? Suppose you have the working days Monday to Friday, but you have the activity on Saturday restarting the services. Are you going to work it?
We can schedule a job.
Yes, we can schedule a job. Yes, working on the Saturdays, nobody will accept it, right? Or if we accept it, then we'll expect some comp ops or some additional amounts, as we are doing this on the weekends. But manager is not accepting that for the comp ops, giving that, or like additional allowances giving this on the weekends. But you need to do that on the every Saturday. Some deployments are taking the log files backups, or every day, some morning you need to start the services and evening you need to stop the services. So how to manage it? These activities on the base of the schedule is we go for creating a scheduled jobs. So we say that scheduled jobs. But how do I create a scheduled job on the Linux operating system? So on the Linux system, how do you do that? The creating a scheduled jobs is what is the default service is available is that is a cron D service which is available. We say that cron jobs we'll call it. So these scheduled jobs, what do we call it in our Linux terminology? Cron jobs we will call it. But all these cron jobs, what is the service internally that is managing that says cron D service. This service is up and running, keep on 24/7 on the base of the time schedule deployments. Okay, the Saturday, the morning Saturday morning 7 a.m. it has to perform the deployment. Okay, so use this cron job and define that the Saturday 7 a.m. the deployment activity. Then you don't need to log into the system and you don't need to work it. Then what of the script you have defined the deployment, that script automatically will be triggered and which will be executed. But you need to have the deployment script. So what do you need to write it? Deployment script you need to write it. Or starting stopping services related scripts you need to write it. Or taking the log files backup you need to write the script. So that's the scripts writing will come back and the shell script. That is we are going to learn it. But taking the log files backup or managing the services or managing the applications, you have that some scripts, and these scripts I need to run it on the Saturday morning 7 a.m. or Monday morning 7 a.m. or every day the 10 p.m. I need to shut down the services. This kind of activities I need to perform it on the Linux system. Then how do you do that is we go for that creating cron jobs, creating or defining the cron job. So if you define this script in the cron job with the scheduled time, then the service is keep on running the 24/7 and up and running, and it is going to check it, yes, which script at what time I need to run it. On the basis of the schedule, this cron service is going to run these scripts, either log files backup or managing the services or deployment activities. That is going to take care by cron job. We don't need to do that manually. Log in Sunday morning at 6:30 and 7 a.m. doing the deployment activity. No, not required. If the script is ready for the deployment, the script defined in the cron job is going to take care of that Sunday morning 7 a.m. the triggering the job and executing that. So that's we say that cron job service, yeah, the scheduling repeated jobs with cron. So here the main service, what is the service we are going to learn it from the Linux boxes? That is the cron service. And how do we define the cron jobs is? So we say that that is a cron tab is available to define the jobs. We use the cron tab, which we should know the format of it. What is the format? How do I define the Saturday morning 7 a.m.? Or how do I define that's on the weekend or weekday? Yeah, cron tab format which we should know. And in that cron tab format, yes, with the scheduled format, which command that do you want to execute it? Cron tab command which we can define. Yes, cron. So what is the meaning of that is a time-based job scheduling service. This is a time-based job scheduling service. And cron tab is a program to create, read or update and delete about your job schedules and use cron to schedule and automate about your tasks. Finally, cron tab service, we are going to use it to manage the scheduled activities. But what is the cron tab format? So what is the cron tab format? What is the cron tab format? Suppose the time format, if you just write one standard, first it starts with the minutes, right? Minutes, right? First minutes. And if it is 60 minutes, let's we say that hours, which we have thus 24 hours. And if we say thus the 24 hours one day, but month wise, if we just take it, which we have this around 31 days over. 30 or 31 on the basis of the month, yes, 31 days of the month. And month wise, next what we have to say is if we group up the months, then we say that year. 12 months, we say that year. And day wise, that's a weekly wise, if you like to define that, total how many days we have, the 7 days we have that, which starts from the 0 and 6. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 6. The 7 days total. So minutes and then hours, hours to that days, days to the month, month of the year, and then day of the week. There are the 5 important attributes that we need to use it to define the scheduling job. So minutes, at what time, in which minute do you want to execute it, and at which hour do you want to execute it, on the day of the month. So do you want to the month on every month, the 10th, do you want to execute it, or month of the year, or day of the week? There are the 5 attributes. You see that, like whenever we are defining the cron tab, so 5 attributes we need to define with the command. Command is about your script, or if you have the command you can execute it, or if you have this like a script you can execute it. So this is the total 5 attributes with the command. So just try to remember that. Yes, you need to remember it. In interviews, they ask you that what is the cron tab format? What is the first attribute? What is the second attribute? Can you explain that's all the attributes? Minutes, minutes to hours, hours to that day of the month, and month of the year, and finally day of the week, last attribute. So first one is minutes, hours, the day of the month, and the month of the year, and finally the 5th attribute is day of the week. And then final command we can define it. Suppose example cron tab format. Every Monday 7 a.m. How do you define that every Monday 7 a.m.? Can you just analyze it? Every Monday 7 a.m. So minutes at what time? 0, 0. 0 minute. 7 a.m. 7 colon 0, 0. 0 minute. Hour is 7. Day of the month doesn't matter for me. Month of the year doesn't matter for me. But day of the week, every Monday 7 a.m. Yes, 7. Yeah, the 0 first, next to 7, next asterisk. Day of the month we don't have any specific one. Then asterisk use it. Month of the year also we don't have that, the specification. Then use it asterisk. But day of the week, on which day? Monday. Which starts this Sunday? The Monday as a 1. 1 if we define it. So 0, 7, asterisk, asterisk, and then 0, 7, asterisk, asterisk, 1. So this is the meaning of the every Monday at 7 a.m. So which script that you want to run it, the script path you can define it. But important attributes note it. Which script that do you have that log files backup? Do you want to do that at Monday 7 a.m.? Or do you want to do the deployment of that application Monday 7 a.m.? Or do you want to do that like a service restarting say, at the Monday 7 a.m.? So activities, and that's we don't want to talk at that. But how do we use the cron tab format? That is important. So are you clear about this cron tab format? Use the chart window and say that clear. Sushma, Ajay, Pavani, Raghava. Good. Good. Thank you. So you don't need, even you don't need to, suppose if you're not able to format this one, so you don't need to toggle that as well as, you just go ahead and use that, the Google. So simple cron tab for Monday 7 a.m. If you just type this also, you will get that. So cron tab for Monday 7 a.m. Every day 8 a.m. This is giving that cron job every Monday. Yeah, see this, you got it here. Every Monday we got it. It is saying this, okay, 00 asterisk asterisk. You can use that MON. But we are asking the 7 a.m. Then you can replace here minutes 0, I need it, and 7 a.m. hour. Then asterisk asterisk and Monday. So you don't need to struggle about it. But if you remember this format, you can search it in the Google and you can get the nearest values and you can change it and you can apply that. So here asterisk means any value. Yes, you can use the comma separator also. The range of values like this 0 to 23. And you have like the other directly there's some non-standard format at the rate of yearly. That means every year. Yearly, if you would like to run this job, just define that at the rate of yearly and then command. You don't need to use it this format also. Yeah, annually also you can use it, or monthly, every month, weekly, daily, hourly, or during the reboot. Do you want to do the launch or executing the scripts? So there are some additional options also which are available, but actually the cron tab format 5 attributes. But you can use it some special non-standard format at the rate of yearly, at the rate of annually, or monthly if you like to run it, or weekly, daily, hourly. Is it clear about this? Yeah, other notations are also available. So the my point is, yes, whenever you need that the specific time to define the cron tab, just use it the Google and try to go ahead and refer that the nearest values and try to construct the format. And now here it is in the cron job every day 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. How do we do that? 08 every day. But I need that Monday 7 a.m. So 07 asterisk asterisk day of the month, day of the week, that is 2. I mean, sorry, 1. That is for Monday. So like that you can use it. This is 8 a.m. representation every day. But I need that Monday. Monday, what is the value which we are expecting that? 0 to 6, that is allowed values. And it starts from the Sunday to Saturday. Sunday is a 0, Monday is a 1. Like that, Saturday is a 6 value. 7 also you can use it, but 7 represents a Sunday. So 7 represents Sunday in the non-standard format. But actually allowed value 0 to 6. But if we define the 7, that means it is going to start from the one Monday, then up to Sunday. So whenever we need that any reference of this time to define the cron tab, you can use it the Google, no issues. But you should know the format of it. If you know the format, then okay, what it is showing that here, you can understand. And what are the possible values? You can check it in the Google and you can use it the possible values whenever you are going to define the cron tab for about your schedule activity. Yeah, so that is a format understanding. Suppose another example, if you just talk it run every Monday, okay, this is also the representation already we're understanding. And as we know that redirection options, yes, whenever you are scheduling that define, that is, so what is this defined? Run at 2 o'clock every day, yes, 0 to asterisk asterisk, and you can define the command. But not only the command, you can use the redirection options as we are understanding the redirections 2, 1, or 2 greater than ampersand 1. What is the meaning of this one?
Error and output.
Yes, error and output redirecting to this same log file. So to this log file, we are redirecting that 2 and file descriptor 1, 2 is for the error and 1 is for the output. Yes, we are redirecting that's everything to the same log file. From this command, if you have any errors do you have any like standard outs, we are redirecting to this log file. Yeah, with the redirection option also you can use it there. Yeah, so cron tab shortcuts at the rate of yearly. So yearly is nothing but this is the representation. Annually also the same. Monthly, weekly, daily. So this is the non-standard notation and this is the standard notation of the cron tab. Yeah, every hour. So that means 0 minutes we would like to run it. Remaining all are asterisk. Midnight. That means at 12. That is a 0 is hour and 0 is a minutes. Remaining doesn't matter that. Daily is also the same thing. The weekly. So the every Sunday midnight 12 o'clock. The running about this job. Monthly. So monthly that is representing is yes the every this is a month of that, right? Every month and every day. But what is the 0012 and 1 is nothing but the first the day 1, first day of the month. So these are all the standard notations. These are all the shortcut notations. Yeah, how do we create a cron tab? So now let's move into the system and let's understand this now. How do we define the cron jobs? The first we are talking about it, cron D is the service which is up and running. So how do we check it that the cron D service is running it or not? So use this command systemctl status of cron D. So what is the service name? Cron D is a service name. Yes, you see that this is up and running. If this is the down, even if you schedule that any job also, the job won't be triggered on the particular time. So this is the main service which is keep on checking about the cron tab format which are defined, and whenever it is reached the particular time, yes, the cron tab is going to run that command. So this is the main service. How to check that the service is running it or not? Systemctl status cron D. But what about the systemctl and what is the status? And we'll talk it in the service management in the more. Yes, how to start the service, how to stop the service, how to enable the services. We have some activities. But for the time, understand this in this cron tab level. Cron D is a service. That service is always up and running, and this service is going to take care of that scheduling the jobs running on the system. The next point is where do I define that? Suppose I need to run some commands in the cron tab. How do I define it? So we say that the cron tab is the command, and if you would like to see this list of all the options what we have, you can use it cron tab -l. What are the options we have? This is here. If you just observe that, you can view list of all the users cron tab. Yes. So any cron tab jobs have been defined in this system for this user. Which user we have logged in? Current user. If you just observe that, what is the user we have logged in? Vagrant. You can use it who am I, right? Who am I or ID commands. So cron tabs are specific to the user level. That is very, very important. So cron tab defining for the root user is the different, and cron tabs which are defining for the vagrant users are the different. So this is the user scope first. But for this user, do we have any cron jobs which have been defined? How do I check it? That is a cron tab -l. L is for that list. You can view the list of all the cron tabs, but no cron tab for the user. Which user? Vagrant user. Suppose I would like to check for the root user. Do we have any cron tabs which have been defined or not? How do I define the user in these options? -u. -u. And which user? For the root user, do you have any cron jobs or not? But it is saying that must be privileged to use the -u. That means I need to run with the sudo option because vagrant user cannot view that root user, right? Root user can view that all the users, but vagrant user cannot view that root user. So the permission is required. Run with the sudo command. Yeah, sudo. I'm just running about it. View that list of all the cron tabs which are defined for the root user. Do you have any cron tabs which are defined for the root user? No. Even the root user also we don't have that. Yeah, user wise it's checking and list of all that like the cron tabs verifying that the current it shows that current user you have not. Or other options you see that -r you can delete users cron tab or -e this is editing the cron tabs or you can define that like set a host in the cluster to run users cron tabs. Yes, you can define that the host name the way the cron tabs can be run it for the users. Yeah, verbose information and enable the debugging of this cron tabs. The main options -u, -e, -l, -r, and if you like to delete with the prompt -i, and debug. Sometimes if you like to analyze it with the debugging option, you can use it -x option. Yeah, now we don't have any cron tabs which have been defined for this current user. No cron tab for the vagrant user. But I would like to define the cron tab. How I can edit this cron tab -v. So cron tab -e if I use it, so that is going to helpful. It is like as a V editor. We know that V editor. How to edit the content and what are the modes are available, insert mode, escape mode. We can use those options and we can enter the data. Suppose if I define that, suppose yes. So if I define that asterisk and asterisk and asterisk and asterisk and asterisk, what is the meaning of this one? Can you ping in the chart?
No schedule.
Not that. All or asterisk. And then command. Okay, command, whether I have the CP command or some scripts, okay, I will define that here. That is a later story. But what is the asterisk, 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 asterisk meaning? Okay, match with anything. Okay, what is the meaning of that match with anything? So it is almost like I say every minute. So minute also we have defined that asterisk. Every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every weekday. So this is meaning of that every minute. If I define that 1 in the first position,
Every 2 minutes.
yeah, every hour, first minute, right? That means 1201,
Correct. Correct.
101, 201. That means every 1 hour in the 1 minute, it is in the hour, 1 minute it is going to export it. Yeah, like this. I mean, yeah, you can just do some exploring the options and you will get it. But you can use the Google, no doubt at all. So on the basis of the requirement knowing is important and attributes format understanding is important. Then if you search it in the Google, you will get definitely the help from the Google, no doubt at all. Okay, now I would like to run the job. Here we cannot define on weekends and something, and we don't wait until that time. So we would like to check that, or we would like to define one activity in the cron tab that should be run every minute. So what is that activity is? So first you need to have the script, right? Which script that you want to execute it? Okay, let me save this up to this. That means now the cron job is going to run it every. Yeah, that is a syntax is a bad command errors in the crontab file cannot install. Do you want to reiterate the same edit? Because we didn't define any the command here. This is the bad format. So what we need to define 5 attributes, and after that which command that you want to run it. Suppose I would like to run it in our user home directory, that is a home vagrant. This is about our user home directory, and I have thus some script copy.sh, some shell script which I'm having some copy.sh. The script I'm going to define that. So it means every minute run this script. But do you have the script? No, we don't have, but I'm trying to define it. Let me just try to define it, and let's save this file. Now it is saved successfully, but before it was not allowing it to save it because you have defined only ashik, 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 but what do you want to run it? So that is invalid format. Now if I check it that list of all the cron tabs which are jobs we have defined, yes, for this vagrant user, so this is the job which is defined every minute executing this script. But do I have the script over here? Now we are in the user home directory. If I verify that ls-l, do you have this any copy.sh here? No, I don't have this. That means this is the no file, right? No file or no directory. Okay, every minute crontab doesn't know that whether this file is available or not. What it is going to do, every 1 minute it is going to try to exporting this. But the script is not available. It is going to throw the error from the cron because that service, the command, whatever you had to find, the command not found. But how do we check the logs of this cron tab? Whether it has been executed. Suppose you have defined that, okay, Monday morning 7 a.m. some deployment, but deployment was executed successfully or not. You need to check the cron tab. Was it triggered at 7 a.m. or not? How do we check it? Yes, we have the logs for this service. What is the service we are talking that? Cron D service. D for daemon. It is meaning the D is daemon. They're all the background process or services which are running. So each service, if it is running, is nothing but that is going to have the log file for it. Definitely. Log is the transactions of the service. So how do we check it or where the log files are located? Normally on the system where the log files are located. So on the Linux system where the default logs are located. Where log, right? This is a directory, yes,
Correct.
where all the log files are located, the default logs of the system services. So here if you see that so many the log files are located. Yeah, boot log files, audit log files. Yes, here you see that cron tab log files. And some firewalls related log files. Messages. This contains about complete kernel related log files during the system boot up time. Boot process and kernel logs if you like to check it. So this is the messages log file, important log file of the system. Yeah, now the cron log file. So what is the log file name is? That is a cron itself. Yeah, now if I go for that. So what is the log file we are saying that? Cron. So this is the log file of the cron service. But how do you open the log files normally? What will be the content of the log file? Last lines we will always check it about it. Last lines of the log file is important for us. So last lines, how do we do that? Tail command. So this log file last lines are contain. I mean, last lines of the log file always contain the latest transactions. Suppose whenever you are adding the content to the file, latest content we will add it at the end of the file, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The same way, log files whenever we are checking about it, not only this cron service, any service related log files, if you are going to check it, always use that a tail command. Don't use a cat command. Or if you like to check it from the starting onwards, you can use the more or less options, that is recommended. But as latest transaction always end up the file, we use it mostly the tail command. And now if you run this tail command, so it is permission denied. Let me run it with the sudo. So because so var log, it contains about yeah, root user privileges, that is run with the sudo tail -f var log cron. Now you see that almost every 1 minute, see that 050701. So it is trying to run this command home vagrant copy.sh. But what is the error we are getting? That no such file or directory. We didn't have that script, but we are trying to execute it. Okay, leave it after that. Copy.sh, whatever the content is there, that content will be executed if the file is there. But understand that cron tab is triggering it or not. Yes, you see. So 57 it is a triggered. Next to 58 it is a triggered. Next to 59 it is a triggered. 510 it is a trigger. 511. So every 1 minute it is trying to execute in the script. As we have defined the asterisk, 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 asterisk. Getting the point of it. Like that, if you define this a particular the time format in the cron tab, so during that particular time, the cron tab is cron D service is going to take care. Who is executing the background? Cron D service. So where it is reading. So for the current user, cron tab -e, where whatever you have defined in the cron tab file, so it is going to trying to checking that. So what are the script you have defined? The script it is trying to executing that. But if the script is not there, that's why it is giving that error message. Fine, no issues. I'm not looking about the error. So, but cron tab is running it or not. That is the main point. Is it running it or not?
Yes. Every 1 minute.
Yeah, every 1 minute. So automatically it is triggering that. Yeah, so this is logs verification. So that's what is the main log file of the cron tab service is the var log cron, and how do you the log files is tail -f. But to view the log files, we need to have the sudo user permission. But let me define one copy.sh some file in this home vagrant. Then we'll come back to this log file verification. Then what are the command we have defined in this copy.sh? Is it executing that or not? We'll check it. So we don't have the copy.sh, right? So let me create one copy.sh, one simple, that's the shell script. But what about the shell script and how to implement the shell script? So once this the Linux classes are over, then we are going to start the shell. That is another important concept. Okay, in the user home directory, what is the file we are expecting? Copy.sh. Let me create copy.sh file. sh is a shell script extension .sh. Hello RNS world. Okay, so you can, I mean, in this copy.sh, okay, I would like to copy the files. I need to take the backup. My activity is I need to take the backup. Which file? Okay, this tar file, whatever we have. Already we were doing the some tar mechanism on the etc on this day. So now I need to move this file to the backup directory. Backup is my temporary directory. Normally, what is the command we use it? mv and this file name. I would like to move to this temporary directory. So this command, what I would like to do is, I'm going to copy this one. Would like to define in the copy.sh file. So I'm just moving that .tar file in the current directory. Current directory, give the complete path. Whenever you are using the scripts, don't use it, the .tar file, only the name. So where it is located? That is located in the user home directory, right? Yeah, give the complete path that is recommended. So I'm moving this in the vagrant user home directory. Whatever the tar file we have, the tar file I'm just moving to the some backup directory, that is a temporary directory. So this is a copy.sh file I just defined. Let me save this file. But now if you verify this copy.sh, it is not having any executable permissions. Yes, if you are going to, once the file has been created, there are like binary files like, shell script. So if you like to execute these scripts, you need to provide that executable permissions, as we know that read, write, and executable permission. But this file is not having any executable permission, so you cannot execute this. So what we need to do this is, we need to set the permissions. Let me change the permissions. User level, I'm going to add X, that is executable permissions. We know that UGO, right? UGO, U for user, G for the group, and O for others, and A for all. Plus meaning adding, and which permission? X executable permissions. To which file? Copy.sh. Yeah, now this copy.sh is having executable permissions also. I'm good. Now I don't want to run it. It is already defined in the cron job. Cron job is going to take care of that executing the script, right? Every 1 minute, as we have defined. But okay, first time the file will be copied. Second time file is not there. Okay, leave it off it. But yes, so if you have the script, how do we define the scheduler? Where the script contains moving the files to the backup directories, or starting the services, or stopping the services, or deployment of that application. That is about your activity. So that's activity you need to define in the shell script. That shell script implementation. But once the shell script is ready or commands are ready, how do we execute the shell? Time-based is, schedule-based is. That is cron tab service is helping that. Now, if I go back and if I check the logs, okay, let's go back and check the logs of this. That is sudo -f, the var log, and log file name is cron. Yeah, so here you see that some messages before until that 5:15, it was showing about it no such file or directory. But after that, we have created a file. So this file is available. But after that, it was showing that permission denied. So it was taken some time, right? Explaining about it and setting the permission. It was taken the time. During that time, it is trying to execute it, but file is there, but permission denied. But after setting the permission, now it is trying to, at 5:18, yes, it is done that copy.sh successfully. 5:19, once we got it, you see that move cannot start. That means home vagrant etc.tar file, no such file or directory. Yes, already here it is moved. Once it is moved, that file is no more available, right? But just I have run that me command. But a second after this, move cannot start this file and no such file or directory. That means already this file has been moved. Is it clear about that all these exceptions? First, copy.sh itself is not there. But after creating, it is showing about permission denied. After setting the permissions, yes, it is done that copying the file successfully. But once it has been moved, The second next onwards, that file is no more available. It is saying about it. The star file is no such file or directory in the current directory. Yeah, that's fine. That is expected. We are okay with that exception. Yeah, I just exited the file. Let me log in once again to the backend machine. Are you clear about this cron tab service? Now, do you see this dot tar file in the current home directory? No file. So it has been moved. Where it has been moved? It is moved to that temporary directory. Yes, this is the file which has been moved now. But suppose backend some services which are keep on creating these files. Yes, on the base of those files creation, then you need to move into that other directories. Then you can define this the file and schedule based, and any these like backup files which have been created by the services. Then you can take it and you can move to that other directories. That is a backup directories. Is it clear about the cron tab service? How do we define the scheduling service?
Yes, sir. Total understand.
Yeah, what is the main service name? What is the main service name? Cron D is a service name.
Cron D service.
Yes, good. Cron D is a service name. And system CTL status cron D. That service is up and running or not. Up and running it or not, we can check it that. That should be active. And then we are talking about it. How do we define the cron tab? Yes, cron tab hyphen E, editing the file. At any time you can change these things, or you can add it one more job also here. If you have those like other command to execute it, yes, that's time format. And what is the command that you want to run it? Yes, you can define that command as well. Suppose I need to run it every 2 minutes. So what I can do is every 2 minutes, this is the notation, asterisk divided by 2. Yeah, every 2 minutes, if you just type it in the Google, you will get it this notation. So this is a notation of it every 2 minutes. Total 5 attributes you need to define it. Then I would like to run it something in the user home directory. You can define the user home directory like this also, right? Yes, you can define this like this also. User home directory is something copy one.sh, which is no more there. This file is not there. Then I can define this multiple cron tabs like this, and I can see this list of all the cron tabs. This cron tab hyphen L. Yeah, this is the one job which is defined, and this is the another job which is defined. And if I don't want that's like all these jobs, then you can cron tab E, you can use it, and you can remove that all the lines, or you can use it cron tab hyphen R. Now if I check it L, all the jobs have been deleted. But whenever you are deleting that with the prompt, if you like to define it, yes, you can use it hyphen I, prompt before deleting, hyphen RI, which you can use. Really delete backgrounds content. So if you say that yes, that will be deleted. Yeah, there are some options which we can use it to apply this on the cron tab service. Is it clear at this point? Yeah, this is about one important service as a DevOps engineer, automation activities. If you're going to do that, yes, how do we schedule a job? Automation script writing is one thing, but script once it is ready, how do we schedule that script on the particular time? We don't want to run it manually. So we would like to run it either midnights or early mornings or the weekends or daily some particular time. If you have these kind of repetitive jobs, on the base of the particular time to define it, yes, this is the important service from the Linux, whether the Ubuntu you are using, whether Red Hat based are you going to use it? The cron D service is the common, and cron tab format is the common. Even the Jenkins, we are going to define the job scheduling. There also we use the cron tab. Yeah, this format is very, very important, especially these 5 attributes. Whatever we are talking that is very, very important. If you remember this option and whenever you are searching in the Google, you can easily understand. Yeah, that's about one important concept.